So the other day I was searching the deepest, darkest corners of GitHub, and this link popped up out of nowhere for an obscure copy of Polyend Tracker OS 7.7. It said it was made by the Ming Mecha chip. So I thought, what do I have to lose? I'd been working on a cover of Vordhosbn, and I just was not able to find the sound. So I put this highly dubious OS in my tracker, and in the config section there was something called an Afx Mode. And listen to what it did to my song. Well, I may have been dreaming the Afx Mode part, but let's get back to reality and take a look at this project. If you followed my other 3 tutorials, then you know the basics. So I'll just point out some effects and techniques that I used here that might help you sound more Afx. Polyend has done a great job since I bought this unit, and they've again updated the OS now to 1.5. And this gives us the ability to grab an instrument preset from other songs. So let me show you where the instrument presets are. You go into File, New Project. So now I have a blank slate. Go to Sample Loader, Projects, Vordhosbn, and Instruments. And now you see the instruments and drums that you can take and use in other projects. We have the keys here, and if I select it, I can preview it and rename it so I know where it came from. Or if I'd been more conscientious, I could have named it within the original project so that when I use it elsewhere, it would let me know the original source. I'll probably do that in the future. Let's take a look at some of the features that Afx Twin may have used in this tracker as we go through the song. So first we have the intro. This light tap of the cymbal, and I took a sample from Ableton's acoustic session drums where you can choose between a lot of different velocities of tapping. Then we go into the tuned 808 sample that in the instrument parameters you can add overdrive to. And then later on in other patterns you hear a very overdriven tuned 808 that I ran through Ableton's pedal effect and sampled it. Next track I have an interplay of rim taps with a tapping closed hi-hat. And this makes up the James Brown funky drummer type of classic break sound that underlies this song. Normally with the funky drummer type of groove, it's the interplay of the back and forth with the hi-hat tap and the ghost snare. But here he's layered it with a rim tap. It would be pretty time consuming to try and duplicate the many hi-hats in this, so I've randomized some hi-hats. I made with Ableton's drum synthesizer with some open hats thrown in. The sound of this will be different every time it's played because when you hit FX2, it's the random FX value of the previous effect, which is slice. Then the little keys melody comes in. Then we get into an interesting feature of the tracker, the roll effect that you hear in the original Vordhosbn. There are roll note effects that roll chromatically up or down the scale or up and down volume for classic jungle or D&B effects. And you can place a cutoff there in the track to shorten it up by turning the dial left. You can do fade, cut, or off. Here's an effect of reversing the sample that I did on the rim tap. Then the bubbles, which are different every time this is played due to the slice effect followed by the random effect. And at the end you have the roll effects on the bubbles as heard in the original. And also in this pattern there are glide effects used. Then the detuned lead comes in. This would sound great using this as a tracker instrument and use it in other tracks. Then applying the glide effects to this sound as well. This tracker project will be on my Patreon. I'm still working on it a bit, cleaning it up. I'll place a link for it in the description. Also on my Patreon, you'll find many patches and Ableton live sets from things I've done in my videos, and I hope to see you over there. Hope you enjoyed this and found it entertaining and helpful. Be sure and subscribe. See you next time.